प्रेम सुषमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Let us all stand everyone as we begin this beautiful night, as we're about to join in wonderful arti to Bhagavan Shri Krishna by reading the sacred light. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jai Shri Radha Radha Radha. Om Jai Shri Krishna Krishna Krishna. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. Om Jai Shri Radha Radha Radha. Om Jai Shri Krishna Krishna Krishna. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. चंद्रमुखी चंचल चितचोरी सुगन सागरा सूरत बोरे श्यामा एक सी जोरे. श्री राधा कृष्णाय राधे. ओम जय श्री राधा राधा राधा. ओम जय श्री कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. कृष्ण मुरारी एक शक्ति के आधारी. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. ओम जय श्री राधा राधा राधा. ओम जय श्री कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. Glories to Bhagavan Govinda. Kasturi Kasturi Kumkumajut Vinda. Janana Charu Tilak Braj Chanda. Kargalal Leelal Sunanda. Shri Radha Krishna Radhe. Om Jai Shri Radha Radha Radha. Om Jai Shri Krishna Krishna Krishna. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. Shri Radha Krishnaya Govinda. All salutations of our Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 वृंदावन में हरि लाल की जय। आश्रय जी सब लोग let us all take our seats. As we begin this beautiful night, my dear friends, on behalf of the members of this wonderful mandir, we take this golden opportunity to welcome all once more. We say आपको स्वागत और नमस्कार करता हूँ. To all devotees and bhaktas who've come from far and near to join with us on this divine night. Once more, the second night of our yajna, we say namaskar and a special Jai Sitaram to each and every one. As we begin this night with prayers and devotion to the members of the Celestial Gandharvas, members of my wonderful group, we specially welcome them. To the devotees of the Kirtan Mandali who were singing earlier, special thanks to all of you for the beautiful renditions and our wonderful bhajans. To our wonderful Puja Pandits who would have taken the opportunity to praise the deities and invite them to our yajna to bless us all. Once more, Panditji, a special welcome to you. And as we begin this wonderful night, without further ado, let me invite everyone now. Let us sit upright, let us close our eyes, let us forget the entire world. As we begin with Omkar, and we begin with beautiful prayer and mantras. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा या देवी सर्वभूतेषु दुर्गारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः या देवी सर्वभूतेषु सरस्वतीरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा राम राम हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। This holy time, this most auspicious time of Shravan Mas, we begin this beautiful night with prayer and with worship. As we're about to begin our night with the 40 verses of the Sri Hanuman Chalisa. For this Sir Bhagwan Mahavir Swami Pavanaputra is the incarnated form of Lord Shiva, the 11th form. And as we praise our Lord for strength, for motivation, for that inner peace, we begin our beautiful night with 40 verses. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nijamana Mukura Sudha Varnau Raghuvar Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kuparaja Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumirao Pavana Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya De Homohi Arau Kalesha Vikar Mangala Bhavana Amangala Hari Dravahu Sudasharata Ajara Vihari Sukhakarta Jai Jai Hanumanta Dukhaharta Jai Jai Hanumanta Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jai Kapishati Holoka Ujagar Ramadota Tulita Baladhama Ajani Putra Pavana Sudanama Mahavir Mahavir Vikaram Bajarangi Kumati Nivar Sumati Ke Sangi Nachana Varana Viraj Savesa Kanana Kundala Kunchit Kesa Hata Vajra Dwaja Virajay Kande Moja Jane Motale Vikar Suvana Kesari Nanda Vidya Pratapa Mahajagavandan Vidyavan Vidyavan Guniyati Chatur Ramataja Karibe Ko Vatur Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Ko Rasya Ram Lakshmana Sita Manavasi Mangala Bhavana Mangala Hari Davausu Dasharatha Ajara Vihari Sukhakarta Jai Jai Hanumanta Sukhakarta Jai Jai Hanumanta Sukhakarta Jai Jai Hanumanta Sukhakarta Jai Jai Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. रूप धरि सिय हितकावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए वीर रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई सहस वदन तुम रोज सगावे अस गए श्रीपति कंठ लगावे कनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद शारद सहित ईसा यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कही सके कहाते तुमो पुकार सुग्रीव ही कीन राम मिलाए राज पर दीना मंगल भवन मंगलानि नभो सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी सुख करता जय जय हनुमंत सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत सुख करता जय जय हनुमंत सुख हरता जय जय ओम श्री हनुमते नमः। नासय रोग हरय सब पीरा जपति निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान चुरावय मन क्रम वचन ज्ञान जोला तब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन पल पावै चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियार, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे, अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, सबर दीन जान के माता, राम रसायन मेरे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दाता, मंगल भवन मंगलाय, प्रभु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, सुख हरता जय जय। Salutations to our Lord Sri Mahavira. तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म की दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाय, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय, और देवता चित्तन धरहि, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, सुमिरया हनुमत बलबीरा, जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई, दूषित बार पाच कर कोई, कही बंदे महासुत हो, तो यह पर हनुमान चालीसा, तो ये सिद्धि साके गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, जयनाथ जय महादेवा, मंगल भवन मंगलहार, प्रभु सुदशरथ अजर विहार, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता, सुख हरता। सुख करता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख करता जय जय हनुमंत, सुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत। पावन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। As we begin this beautiful night with prayer, with devotion, once more we say Swagatam, Namaskar karta hu sab log, to all the devotees who've come to join with us, to all the family members of our Shrotas, to the Yajna kartas, to the loved ones, neighbors, friends, members of this beautiful mandir, to all those who tuned in via YouTube as well as Facebook, we say Namaskar and a special Jai Sitaram to each and every one. For we're about to begin a beautiful night once more with devotion to the Divine Lord. For today is a day dedicated to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And remember, we started Adhik Maas yesterday. With the Adhik Maas, it is one that is dedicated to Bhagavan Govinda, Lord Vishnu. So whoever worships Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva in this time, it is very prominent and very powerful. To begin this night with devotion, we're about to dive into the golden pages of Bhagavatam. But before we do so, we would like to engage each and every one in taking part in Nam Sankirtana, chanting of the name of the Divine Lord, where we praise Bhagavan Shri Krishna for life, for health, and for strength. As we're about to join in the chant, to each and every one, to those who know it, you can sing along. To those who don't, take part in clapping and receiving energy of our Lord as we sit here in this beautiful mandir on this wonderful afternoon. Now I'm sure everybody knows the chant well. Let us chant it one time before we go into the music and the energy all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare So before I begin with my chant, I want everybody loudly now. Let us all sing together the divine Lord of Bhagwan Govinda. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, y'all song and a little hungry. Let me try it a little more and let's everybody all together now. Hare Krishna, Hare. Very nice. Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now I'm about to begin the chant. The tune is different, but it's the same thing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It is one of the chants that's recommended to sing in this time of the Adhik Maas. So we sing all together to our Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody bolo, Radhe Govinda, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panduranga, all salutations, Lord Govinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Govinda. Everybody bolo. मनमानसमधुकरमर्पय पदनिज पङ्कजमकरन्दे मनमानसमधुकरम् अर्पय पदनिज पङ्कजमकरन्दे कृष्णदेव भवन्तं वन्दे 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे राम राम हरे Shrimapati Mahadev ki jai. Tonight, my friends, today is a day dedicated to Bhagwan Govinda. Hence, we take our wonderful message from the golden pages of Bhagavatam, where we speak of the strength of our Lord. Katha begins today where we speak about a wonderful Brahmana by the name of Atma Deva. It is said there is a great Brahmana who lives in a village, and he lives not too far on the banks of a wonderful river. It is said he was a pious soul, a divine being. He was one who always loved to pray to God. Does anybody who are here tonight love to pray to God? How many people love to pray to God? How many people love God? How many people pray to God plenty? Because some of us could say we love to pray now, but we don't pray so often. This sadhu, this brahmana loves to pray to God. Every chance he gets, he's humming a tune. Have you ever found yourself like that? That every chance you get, you're just humming. Something is just playing in your mind. You hear a new bhajan and it's just going in your mind. It is said every step that he took in his life, everything that he did as a holy and a pious being, the chance of God is always in his thoughts. He was a person of character. Baba Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai says to the world, a person without character is a person who does not want any clothes. That's what Baba said. And a person who has character is a person who's fully adorned. The character is something that is on the inside, not the physical part of our lives, but the inside must be as beautiful as the outside. The inside must be beautiful with nature, character, morality, values, everything, just like the outside. It is said Atma Rama was a pious being. He was a religious, a noble, a pious person. But he had one problem. As nice and as good as he was, every time he came home, he had a wife who used to always quarrel. I don't even have to ask you if that sounds familiar. Because all the men might say, yeah. It is said he would have a peace of mind, calm, composed, nice nature. But every time he come home, fight, quarrel, argument, quarrelsome. It is said part of our karma that falls on according to Garuda Puran. If you come home and every time you come home there's some spouse quarreling and fighting, that's part of your karma. That has come on your path. Now you have to fight it. And how to get rid of it or fight it? And when I mean get rid, that doesn't mean you get rid of the wife, but that doesn't mean you get rid of the husband. How do you calm down the situation? You pray about it. Today in our message, it is said whenever he comes home, there's always a fight. There's always a quarrel. He doesn't know what to do. He does not know who to turn to. He's confused. Who to worship, who to adore, who to glorify. There's always a problem. When you're always faced with a problem in your life, who should you turn to? Who? But sometimes you might turn to Bhagwan and like we say, maybe slow but sure, but maybe not as fast as we want Him to bring a blessing into our life. So if you need a proper advice and you need that reassurance of energy, then who should you turn to? Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. That's why the gurus are there. Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptamena Characharam Tatparam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Turn to your gurus. Turn to your preceptors. It is said the gurus are there to guide you. Guru Hamare Mana Mandir mein Guru Hamare Pyar Sare Vishwa ka wo hai data Narayana Bhagavan. Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev. Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev. Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev. Om Gurudeva Jai Gurudev. How many people have a guru? Put up your hands. Put up high naman mo. Do you have a halfway guru or what? How many people have a guru? How many people don't have a guru? Nice. Narish bhai, collect all them number. We go fix them up nice. How many people believe you don't need a guru? So then how come you don't have a guru yet? What are you waiting on? To all the young people and to all the elders, a guru is very important in your life. It is necessary. I have 12 guru. Yeah, you probably never think you could get so much. To the normal average individual, we are supposed to have 1 or 2 gurus. There's what you call a Diksha guru and there's what you call a Siksha guru. The Diksha guru is the guru who gives you Guru Diksha. That day the guru comes to your home, he performs a prayer, a puja, he whispers a mantra in your ear. That is the guru mantra you will get. That mantra will guide you for the rest of your life. And while he will give you that guru mantra, in turn, he will be that individual in your life who will guide you physically, give you spiritual advice, and he will perform all your rituals in your home, in your mandir, in the Yajna. He will do all the rituals for you. But there's also what you call a Siksha guru, the second guru. The second guru is called Siksha. He is the one who sits on this Vyas Gadi, on this stage as we see here, the asan. And when he sits here, he narrates. He does not necessarily need to be the person who's coming in your home all the time to perform your rituals, but he gives you advice, a sound advice from the scriptures. He understands the world and the way the world works according to the spiritual part of life and through the holy texts and the books. And he can tell you now what is right and what is wrong. Some people have one guru with the 2 representatives. One guru who does your puja, and he's the same guru who sits on the Vyasasana. Some people have a devotee or a guru who all he has done in his life is sit on the ritualistic part and perform prayers. So you need a second guru to now give you the advice of the spiritual part. So you need 2 gurus. It can work vice versa, either or. But it is said the gurus are very powerful in your life. When you die and you're about to go to the heavenly region, you're about to go to Patalok, or the God of that comes, he would ask you that first question. Were you initiated? Do you have a guru? If you have a guru in your life, it means that you were supposed to be guided in the right path. So that guru is going to take half of your karma and pay that karma for you. So automatically you had a guru and half of your karma gone because he was supposed to guide you. And if you didn't have the guru, well, 100%. No guru there. So Bhagavan is going to give you the brunt of everything in your life, good and the bad. The guru helps you. As well as when you have your gurus, every time you approach your gurus and you bow to your guru with that connection of the guru shishya with the godfather and the godchild, automatically a bond is there. Every time you meet the Guru and you touch his feet and you bow, he takes a bit of your bad karma and he sparks you up now with some good ones. So you're ready to go back into the world afresh with some good energy. The Gurus are prominent and very powerful, and they're very important into our lives. Today, this Brahmana, he's one in society that the world loves. But every time he comes home, there's an argument for something. So he doesn't know what to do. At some point, he becomes frustrated. Sometimes when there's too much of arguments and quarrels in our life, we become too frustrated. Sometimes when there's too much of negativity in our lives, we become too confused. And we don't know what to do. But when you're confused and you have nobody to turn to, then what else? So this Guru, this Brahmana got up from his home one day. There was too much argument and he said, I need to walk out. He said, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore. And he walked out of the home. And he's lost and confused. Sometimes when we get fed up of life, or fed up of problems, or fed up of arguments, or certain things in our job or in our personal life, we get up and say, you know what, I need a break. And we start to walk out and we start going on our own because we don't want to hear anything or anybody. We want a moment for ourselves, not so? Yeah, you want a peace of mind for yourself. And in turn, how will you get the peace and where do you get that peace? He decided to walk into nature. He walked into the ambience where there's nature, plants and trees and flowers. And he walked into the midst of the atmosphere and he just listened to the birds. And he was just looking at the flowers. And automatically his mind was just drifting away from his problems. Some people need to go into nature to restore themselves or to repair their energy. Some people, they like to go to the beach. They like to go to the waters and sit down and listen to the falls of the water. And with the falling of water, you say, you know what, this is relaxing and this is nice. Some people sit down and they just need to listen to a bhajan playing again and again. And that restores the energy. But in turn, all in all, it is said some of us, we need that peace of mind. So he got up and he left and he started to walk now into the forest. And while he's walking, he sits down by himself. And he now says to himself, you know what, I'm going to pray for something. Every time I come home, my wife is quarreling with me and there's an argument. Probably if I get a child, my energy will be diverted into something else. I will have a child to pay attention to, so I won't become frustrated. To all the children here and to everybody who's here, do you know how much your parents love you? Think about the katha. This man, this Brahmana, whenever there's an argument, he's telling himself, if I get a child, I'll get to play with the child. Do you know how many of your parents used you, not in a bad way, to find a peace of mind? They held you in their hands and say, you know what, I have strength and I will live for my child now. Forget about the fight of the world. I have something to live for. I have somebody to live for. I have somebody to smile for. I have somebody to live, to do every day to make a happy moment. Do you know how much your parents have sacrificed to give you good moments in your life? They did the best that they can to make you happy. And that was their joy, seeing you happy. Now today, reverse now. How many children make their parents happy? Turn around the scenario. Parents lived their life and one day they said to one another, I want to bring a child in the world. That child will give me all the joy that I want. And while they're giving the child all the happiness, they receive joy from the child. But there came a day in the child's life where the child felt as though he was too big now. Let me ask you, all the youths, there are plenty of youths in front here. All the youths, when you were growing up and you got scared, you run by your mommy and you hug she up. If you're scared for something, you run by your dad and you hug him up. When you reach a teenager, 15, 16 years now, and you get scared, who you hug up? Who you hug up that time? You say, Pandit, I have a little girlfriend. Who you hug up that time? When the parents come by you and you're the age of 15, 16 and say, son, come, give me a hug and give me a kiss. Tell me you love me. Oh, hey, mommy, everybody looking. No. Wait till we go home now. We become shy now. The same child that was the joy and the life of parents, because they start to get big now, they say, no, don't hug me up in front of everybody now. You start taking away the love that the parents have for you. Why? Because you feel you get too big now. Mommy shouldn't hug you. Mommy shouldn't kiss you. Mommy shouldn't tell you that she loves you in front of people because you feel shy and ashamed. Always love your parents. Remember that. You were the eyeball of your parent from the very beginning coming up. And all they want is to see you happy. Not because they yell at you sometimes mean they don't like you. Not because they're angry at you means that they don't like you. Not because they're stern and they probably hit you means they don't like you. They just want to see you live a good path and be happy. And maybe you're not understanding that because all you want is your way. And your way should only be your way, whether they're happy or they're not happy. That is the only way you think they should be. But that is not how it works, my friends. Listen. Gopala tera, oh Gopala tera, pyara naam hai. It is said even Lord Krishna came on the earth and he will steal butter and he will steal Mahaica and he will go and steal for everybody. And Yashoda Maya will come and say, I will hit you, Krishna. And he will say, please, nah, don't hit me. I was just hungry. Mujhe bhuk lag raha hua. I just wanted a little butter to eat. The parents sometimes they have to scold us because we do wrong things. But even when we stand up and we say, well, I'm sorry, they say, well, promise not next time. Next time you're not going to do it again. Promise, eh? And we say, yeah, promise. And they catch you again a second time and you still beg. And they don't know how to hit you again. But all they want is to correct you. And you won't see that you just need to live a good life. Like Bhagwan Shri Krishna, listen. Everybody, Shri Radhe Govinda, Gopala tera pyara naam hai. Shri Radhe Govinda, Gopala tera pyara naam hai. Shri Radhe Govinda, Gopala tera pyara. कोई कहे वसुदेव की नंदन, कोई कहे नंद लाला, कोई कहे नंद लाला। कोई कहे वसुदेव की नंदन, कोई कहे नंद लाला, कोई कहे नंद लाला। तेरा जय गोविंदा, गोपाला तेरा प्यारा नाम है। तेरा जय गोविंदा, गोपाला तेरा प्यारा। Everybody बोलो राधे गोविंदा। यमुना तट पर नंद के लाला, मुरली मधुर बजाई, मुरली मधुर बजाई। यमुना तट पर नंद के लाला, मुरली मधुर बजाई, मुरली मधुर बजाई। It is said, my friends, while Bhagwan Shri Krishna would have showed the world his many traits, his many forms and his wonderful manifestations, today this Brahmana sits. He sits on a beautiful rock and he sits by himself and he starts to pray to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And he will chant that beautiful mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he's praying now for Bhagwan Shri Krishna to bless him. All he wants is a child so that he can take all his energy and divert it towards that child. But he's praying and he's praying and he's giving up. When lo and behold, suddenly in the forested path, it is said, another guru and a saint of the village, he was passing by and he was begging for alms, Bhiksham Dehi. He was asking for anyone to give him anything. And he saw this Brahmana and he saw the Brahmana looking depressed and down as though he was ready to give up in life. And when he saw the Brahmana, he started to wonder to himself, I wonder why is such a guru looking so heartbroken. He walked up to the Brahmana and he says, Gurudev, Bhaiji, Guru Bhai, sab theek hai na? Is everything okay? And the Guru starts to tell him his story. And he says, you know, every day I come home, there's always a fight, an argument. I don't know, I feel like I could just get a child so I could play with that child and put all my love and energy and I have somebody to live for. And at that point, the Guru says, well, okay, let me see your hands. And he opened the hands of this Brahmana and he started to read the celestial part of the lines of that individual. And while he's reading, he says, do you know that you are not destined to have a child for 7 generations? He says, according to your bad karma, you are not destined, or you're destined to not have a child for 7 lifetimes. He says, but here's what, I will bless you today and I will break that spell, because I am a holy being and I've prayed so much where miracles can take place. Gopala tera, oh, Gopala tera, pyara naam hai, Veera de Govinda, Gopala tera pyara naam hai, Veera de Govinda, Gopala tera pyara naam hai, Nandlala tera pyara naam hai, Nandlala tera pyara naam hai, Nandlala tera pyara. Gopala tera, oh, Gopala tera pyara naam, pyara naam, pyara naam hai. Everybody by yourself now. Shri Radhe, Nandlala tera pyara naam hai. This Guru, my friends, he sat there and he placed out his hands. Do you know that your destiny, they are written in your hands? Do you know that? Pandits read the hands of many people and they tell you your destiny. They tell you what is in your heart, your hand and for your path. But do you know that the lines change? According to how you shift your energy and you shift your karmas, your line changes. So for example, if the Guru looked at your hand and he says, hey, you know what you're doing in your life is wrong. Try to do something else. Then 1 month after, if you've changed what he told you to change, you'll realize the lines made a change to guide you. Do you know when we come into the world, yes, we come with what you call prarabdha karma, karma of your past life. But when you come into the world, you come with barely anything, 0 karma, to start afresh so that you can create good things. Have you ever seen a child that is born, a newborn? How are the hands of a newborn baby? Like this, right? The hands are always like this, no karma. Just like this. And if you put that little finger inside there, they hold on so tight, they won't let it go. The child comes with barely any karma. While growing up, the prarabdha karma will come to then manifest itself and work itself out. But the child comes with barely anything. A child is a pure being. But gradually, while the child is living, until we become a normal, an adult in the world, have you ever seen when people die, how are their hands when they're leaving the world? Full of karma. It can't even close after that. So I always tell devotees, one fellow in India said to me, if you want to know how much karma you have right now, if a baby comes with the hands like this, an adult when they die, they go like this. Then place your hand out and release all the energy and see if it's closing in or if it's not. Just release the energy. Don't do it for spite. Just allow it to close in, and if it closes in, know how much karma you have. Or if it remains like this, Jai Bhagwan, you better pray every day of your life. That means your karma full. Check and see your karma in the world. This Brahmana sits there and he says, 7 generations, I can't have a child. So then what should I do? And then the Guru says, I will bless you. He picks up an apple from his bag that he was walking with. And he holds the apple like this and he starts to pray. And he's chanting his mantras. Om natatra sarabhatina chandatarakam nema vityaromantikde magnihi. Tameva bhavantam rabhati sarvam tasavasa sarvam vidam vibhati. Om har har nama parvati pataye har har mahadev. And he takes the apple and he says, here, take this. Take this, and when you go back home, give your wife this apple to eat. And when she eats this apple, you will have a child. He says, really? Yes, Sacha? This is real? I will have a child? Yes. You will have a child. He gets up and he says, okay, now I don't have to worry to end my life. I thought I had to end my life at some point. I could go back now and I will have a child to live for and to pray with and to teach and to love. So he decided now to take the apple and he went back home. And as soon as he walked in, he, as usual, Dolahin quarreling, wife is quarreling, and he walked in and he says, hey, I have an apple for you. A guru blessed this apple and brought it for me. The guru says, if you eat this apple, you will bring a child and we will have a child to enjoy. And she says, okay. And she took the apple. And she took the apple and she went one side in her room. And she said, what happened to he? He wants a child, I don't want a child. He know how long I have to take that child all over the place for 9 months. How does the line go? बीमार परे जब वह जब बुला कर बीमार परे जब वह जब बुला कर औषध पान कराया कौन करेगा इतना माता पुत्र से प्यार किया है जितना कौन करेगा इतना कौन करेगा इतना 9 महीने. Now is how much? How much? No, right now. Yes, now is 9. 9 महीने. महीने means months. उधर मेरा का जब दुनिया में आया सर्दे लगेगी चादरों सर्दे लगेगी चादरों करस्तन धूर पिलाया कौन करे. Everybody बोलो. माता पुत्र किया है जितना कौन करेगा इतना कौन करेगा इतना इतना बड़ा है. It says a mother loves a child so much that for 9 months she will take that child around the world and she will never complain. So when the child grows up, why does the child complain? When that child would have moved in the mother belly, the mother would have stopped and said, oh, he's kicking now. Look his feet, look, he's kicking now. Not my belly, eh? He says, look, the baby's kicking, look the feet. And the mother is surprised and so astonished by every little movement. When the child comes into the world, the mother looks at that child, and if the child only breathes, that mother stops, hey, look, he breathed in. And everything that mother is happy about. And when the child gets big, and the mother says, child, come now. Oh God, I'm busy, do your own thing now. We're busy, we're too busy now for mother. We're too busy for father now. Scripture says today that this mother-to-be, this wife, she holds on to the apple and she says, but he bring the apple because he wants a child. Nobody asks me if I want a child. I don't want a child. So at that point, this is what she does. She calls her sister because her sister was now in family way. She was preparing to have a child. And she calls her sister and she says, hey, hear this. My husband come home one day and tell me, go eat this apple because he want to have a child, but I don't want to have a child. And his sister say, here's what. I'll tell you what to do. Take the apple and you minding a cow. You have a cow in the back of the house, right? Isn't it that the cow can't make young one? Take the apple and feed it to the cow now. You get young one. And she says, you know, true. But then what to tell now my husband when he comes home? Say, don't worry. Whenever he comes home, give it some time, and gradually, you just put a little pillow or something inside there and you hide it. And he will see the belly getting big little bit. And when there need be that a child has to come in the world and you're ready to bring birth, give that child into the world, don't worry, I go bring my child and they play with the child and you bring it back. You see plan? So she says, that sounds like a good plan. So she takes the apple, she goes in the back, she sees the cow, and she throws the apple. She throws the apple in the back. The cow starts to eat the apple now. When the cow starts to eat the apple, the cow belly starts to get big. The cow is about to bring out a little one in the world. And while the belly of the cow is getting big, every day now, whenever the Brahmana comes home, he sees his Dulahin with a little belly. He's saying, yeah, my belly getting big. That Swami, that Guru really know what he said. Because look, my Dulahin belly is getting big. And he's feeling happy because now a child will come into the world. He's overjoyed because a child will come into the world. But he wants to pray for a good child. He wants to pray for a divine child. He wants to pray for a child that will worship the devatas. He wants a good being. To all those who want to bring a child in the world, there's something what you call sanskars. There are sanskars, there are little rituals that you can do in order to bring forth a child into the world. These sanskars, when you conceive and the child is developing in your belly and your tummy and so on, there are little prayers that you can say to make sure that your child is living a good life. We say we bring the child in the world, but we don't make the child mine. You know, I make the child, but I didn't make the child mine. So how we come out, he come out. But you know what? The sanskars can tune the mind of the child to always be tuned towards God. There are prayers for that. It is said when this child was about to come in the world, her mother, she sat down by the murti of Bhagwan Shri Krishna and she prayed. And when the child came into the world, it was no ordinary child. The child held on to the murti of Shri Krishna every single day. That child held on. One day she said to her mother, she saw a wedding passing in the road and she was only 5 years old. And when she saw the wedding passing by, she says, Ma, what is that? Mother says, hey, you're too small to find out. That's a wedding. What is a wedding? Well, when one boy falls in love with one girl and they decide to get married, that's a wedding. They're going to get married. She says, oh, so Ma, who are you going to marry to? And she's 5 years old. Mother says, she doesn't want to corrupt the mind, so she looks around and she says, look, the Murti of Lord Krishna, you're going to marry Lord Krishna. He will be your husband. Oh, really? So mean I have to go in this same wedding ceremony and marry Lord Krishna? Oh, thank you, Mom. And she ran up to the Murti and she hugged the Murti tight. And one day she was known throughout the world for being that personality that loved the Lord the most. Do you know who I'm talking about? Shama teri bansi pukare, Radha Radha. शाम तेरी बंसी पुकारे राधाना, लोग करे मेरा तो यो ही वरना, लोग करे मेरा तो यो ही वरना. Who are we talking about? Mirabai. She loved Bhagwan Shri Krishna so much, she held on to the Lord. Today, Atma Rama, he knows that a child will come into the world. He's overjoyed. He's praying and he's worshipping the deities because he's so happy. And while he's so overjoyed, every single day when he comes, he will look for that child. He will look at the tummy and the belly, but before he could touch, his wife would say, no, 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 no. Be careful. Don't worry, just look from far. Because she doesn't want him to know that it's not real. In our message today, Atma Rama believes that the child will come into the world and it will be his. But a day is about to come and that child wouldn't take place. That birth wouldn't take place. The world and only him would try to understand that child wouldn't come. One day he sat down and he decided he will pray. And he's about to pray to a mother because a child will come in the world. And while he's about to pray to the mother, he sits down and he chants, Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalani दुर्गा क्षमा शिवदात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते। ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः, ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः, ओम दुम दुर्गाय नमः। And while he's praying, friends, he gets up now and every day he's praying, and the days are passing and the weeks, and almost 8 months are about to come. While he's waiting for a child to be born, one of his family members come on the outside and say, "Arey bhaiya, did you see the cow is about to make?" He says, "Really? Well, look at that. I never know that cow that I had was so barren. That cow wasn't even destined to make. But that cow is about to bring into the world. And I also know that any time now, even my wife will bring a child." And he's so happy about it. So he waits now. And while he's waiting, Dulehin said, "No, go outside." And she made a call to the sister. "Hey, you better come and bring that baby." So she's waiting for the baby to come. And the cow is about to give birth. And while the cow is about to give birth, he goes outside and he says, "Ma, how miraculous you work. I was given an apple to give my wife, and look the cow making too. How lucky am I?" When he thanks the mother, listen. Jai Jagat Janani Bhavani, O Bhavani, O Rama, Achal Vardhana, Jaya Jagat Janani Bhavani, Jaya Jagat Janani Bhavani, O Bhavani, O Rama, Achal Vardhana, Jaya Jagat Janani. जगमग ज्योत विराजे, ज्योत विराजे, जगमग ज्योत विराजे, ज्योत विराजे। ये जग करता निधानी, ये जग करता निधानी, ओ अपार तुम्हारी महिमा गंगा पार, तुम्हारी अपार तुम्हारी। शेष सुरेश निधानी, शेष सुरेश निधानी, हो राम निधानी, हो रामाचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, हो राम भवानी, हो रामाचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी, जय। दुःखहरणी सुख संपत्ति भरणी, संपत्ति भरणी, दुःखहरणी दुःखहरणी सुख संपत्ति भरणी, संपत्ति भरणी। चरण सकल कल्याणी, चरण सकल कल्याणी, हो राम कल्याणी, हो राम। Bhavani, Jai Jagajanani Bhavani Ho Ram, Bhavani Ho Rama Chala Varadani, Jai Jagajanani Bhavani, Jai Janani Bhavani Ho Ram, Bhavani Ho Rama Chala Varadani, Jai Jagajanani, Jai Jagajanani Bhavani, Ho Bhavani Ho Rama Chala Varadani. Shri Gajananda Swami ki Jai. He saw the cow was about to give birth and he felt so happy and he couldn't wait to go inside and see his own child. That cow was about to give birth, but something different that he would have never thought in his mind to ever see in this world. This was no ordinary birth of a cow. It is said instead of the cow giving birth to a calf, he saw that humanized body coming out of the body of the cow and he started to wonder, but what kind of thing is this? How is this possible? But this was the miracle of the apple. The miracle of God can do anything in the world, can change anything in the world. It is at that point when he saw that humanized body coming out. It was a young boy coming out of the body of the cow, but at the same time his ears was a little big, somewhat looking like a cow. And he wondered, but I wonder. He says, you know what, today I'm going to name this child today. And because that child has come from the body of the cow, I will name this child Gokarna. Gokarna. Go means what? Anybody know what go means? What does it mean? What is that again? Go means what? You want to say a fish? Go means a cow. The name itself says it. Go means cow. Gokarna means the cow that has, or the son that has come from the womb of a cow. He was given the name Gokarna. But he went back inside now to see his child. His child was about to take birth. And when he went, he saw a baby boy. This is not his child. He saw a baby boy and he says, oh, look at this nice child. I wonder if he look like me. And he's looking at the child and he's starting to look for little traits. You know when a baby is born, the first thing the father says, I wonder if you look like me, boy. When the baby is born, the mother starts to say, no, baby look like me. They start looking at the nose, looking at the ears. They start looking at the toes. I wonder, no, baby have my mouth. Baby have my eyes. We start looking for all the traits to see what connection that child is to us. In the message, it is said that while the father, the Brahman, is looking at the child, he doesn't see much connections, but he says that is his child. He will teach him everything that he can. And the child is growing up now. Every single day, every week, every month, he has 2 children to teach. He has Gokarna and he has his child to teach. But there's a difference of something. You see, Gokarna, coming from the sacred apple, is living a pious and a good life. A very nice child. The child listens. How many parents have good children who just listen and think? Yeah, right. Some of them parents here watching the children so. They watching them, I could tell. Many of us have children who we teach values and morals, but not many children keep it, We say we make the child, but we didn't make him mind, I don't know how we think, he think. How we become, he become. But we must grow them to groom to become what we want them to become. It is like the words that have come from the mouth of many people. Vedantic philosophy says what you call a person, that's what they will always be. If you keep calling somebody a fool, if I look at my drummer and I say, here's what? Hey, bring this now, you fool, bring that. No, not you. Then after a little bit, he will say, what happened, boy? Why are you calling me this for? And then after 2 minutes, I say, hey, fool, bring that. Come now, man, you're a fool or what? Bring that. And then after a while, after 15, 20 times, I say, come, bring that, you fool. Then before you know it, he might want to fight me. You can't win, but you might want to fight me. And then after that, he would start to just believe in himself. You know what? Yeah, I'm a fool. And before you know it, he starts to feel like a fool because all I would say is fool, hey fool. But if you have a good name, if you have a divine name, if you have a name like Shiva, if you have a name like Gopal and somebody say, hey, Shiva, come. You say, yeah boy, Mahadev. If you have a name like Gopal, Krishna, hey Krishna, come. Hey, watch it tonight, Krishna. The name uplifts you by itself. And everybody here have a book name, not so? You all have a book name? The book name is to make you recognize and realize. That book name shouldn't be on your passport and thing. That book name should be a secret name. You know why the name should be secret? Because when you are born and you go by the Pandit, and the Pandit does open book and he opens a book for you, from your name, or from your date of birth rather, and the time you're born, the Pandit gives you a name that connects with the nakshatras or the stars of your birth. People now, when you're given that name, if you go to do a puja, Jandi, and the Pandit says, okay, take your name in mind, bhai. We're going to do the prayers. Now take the offerings and take your name in mind. That name is supposed to be the name that the minute you say it, the gods know your date of birth, your time of birth, whatever stars are connected to you, whatever lineage you've come from, that connects everything, so that book name is powerful. But remember, you don't tell people that name, because if somebody wants to do you something bad and they get a hold of that name, they could also use it. Because that connects you to your life, your date of birth, your time of birth, your stars, your planets, your ruling stars and everything. That book name should be something that nobody knows. Sometimes people have that book name on your birth paper, but nobody knows it's your book name, so it's okay. Nobody knows. But that name is always a holy and a divine name from the scriptures, because it is a name to uplift you, to motivate you, to make you a better person. It is a name that will allow you to become a divine personality. So today what is happening now? It is said in our scripture that this father, this Brahmana, he sees his two sons. And of a Brahman quality, he would only expect that his child would be of a good quality. But the child, like they say, the child falls not too far from the block. They say the chip doesn't fall far from the block. So if the father prays every day, you will only expect that the child would be praying all the time. But that was different. The apple that was given to the cow. So Gokarna was growing up to be a nice child. He would listen all the time, do all the good things, be a good child. But this son that is supposed to be his son, is a Rakshas. You ever hear somebody say, boy, you're a real Rakshas, boy? Because he's living a life like Ravan. He's living a life where he doesn't listen, he doesn't do anything good, he's always giving problems. He lives that life of negativity. In turn, the person that lives that life of negativity today, the Brahmana says, I don't know what to do. Is it my karma that I have a child like you? Any one of you, did your parents ever come to you and say, boy, why don't behave yourself? I don't know if it's my karma to make a child like you like this. You ever hear people talk like that? Is it my karma to get a hardened child? Is it my karma to have a stubborn child? Is it my karma to have a bad child? Is it your karma? What is your karma? Do you know? कबीरा जब हम परा हुए जगह से हम रोए ऐसी करनी कर चलो हम वहाँ से जगह रोए. He says chadariya. The chadar. Chadar is a what? What is chadar? What is it? A shawl, a sheath, a shawl. The chadar is a shawl. Bhagavan says, I've given you a clean sheath and a clean shawl. Make sure when you come back to me, when you die, that sheath come back clean also. That is what he's saying. Ensure that that shawl will come back nice and clean. I send you in the world with a nice piece of clothing, a nice sheath and a nice shawl. Don't dirty it. Come back with it clean. which means create good karmas, not bad one. We don't know what karmas we will create in the world, but listen. Chadariya, Hare Chadariya, Hare Chadariya, Hare Chadariya, Hare Chadariya, Jini Re Jini. नाम रस बीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी हे राम नाम 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 रस बीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी अष्टकमल का चरक बनाया पांच तत्व की पूनी चदरिया पांच तत्व की पूनी अष्टकमल का चरक बनाया पांच तत्व की पूनी नौ दस समाज पुनन को लागे नौ दस समाज पुनन को लागे मूरख मैंने कीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी जब मोरी चादर बनकर आए रंग दे जी को दीनी चदरिया रंग दे जी को दीनी जब मोरी चादर बनकर आए रंग दे जी को दीनी ऐसा रंग रंगा रंग रे ऐसा रंग रंगा रंग रे कि लाल लाल कर दीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी चादरो संत मत करियो ये दो दिन तुमको दीनी चदरिया दो दिन तुमको दीनी चादरो संत मत करियो ये दो दिन तुमको दीनी चदरिया दो दिन तुमको दीनी मूर्ख लोग मेरा नहीं जाने मूर्ख लोग मेरा नहीं जाने दिन दिन मैंने दीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी everybody बोलो जो प्रहलाद सुदामा ने और चदरिया सुदामाने सुदामाने ओढ़ी चदरिया जो प्रहलाद सुदामाने ओढ़ी चदरिया शुक्रे निर्मल कीनी चदरिया ने निर्मल कीनी दास कबीर दास कबीर ने ऐसी ओढ़ी दास कबीर ने ऐसी ओढ़ी जो कि तू धर दीनी चदरिया जीनी रे जीनी What is your karma level in the world today? Do you think you have plenty karma or do you have little bit? How many people think you have plenty karma? Only you, right? So that means everybody else inside here saint. Nobody has no karma inside here. How many people believe you only have a little bit of karma? Little bit? How many of you don't know what's going on? I feel you all don't know what's going on. Your karma, my friends, it's something that's so powerful. You must rid yourself of all the bad karmas that you have in your life so that when you leave this world, you won't have problems and you won't have to suffer. Today the message says that while this Brahmana, he realized that there came a time and a point in his life where his son is not listening to him. He tried and he tried and he tried, and no matter how much he tried, he couldn't succeed. He tried to teach his son values. Some children just don't listen. In other words, some children, no matter how much he tried, there's a saying back home, they say, you could take the horse by the well to drink water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. You could teach children how much you want. It is up to them to pick it up. You can allow them to learn and to understand right and wrong. Show them, experience life and everything as it is. But you can't force them to do it. Your mind must be open-minded in order to understand many things in the world. Today in our scripture, the Brahmana, he decides to teach his son, but his son wouldn't pick up anything. Pray, son. He won't even pray. Learn, understand. And he grew, he became old trying to teach his child, and even then his child would never learn. It is said, his mother had departed, Brahmana's wife. She had departed one day. And when she departed, in the midst of leaving the world, the Brahmana had all the responsibilities on his own. In today's society, there are many families where children, they are brought up by one parent. Maybe from a broken marriage. Maybe from a marriage where a father departed. Maybe a mother departed. And on their own, they have to struggle. On their own, they have to beat it out, as we say. They have to go through the world doing their best. And even then, some children, they won't appreciate what they have. Always show gratitude for what you have in the world. Never be an ungrateful person. This child grows up to be a young man. And he's learning to gamble. He's learning to steal. He's learning to go and loot everywhere. But Gokarna, he's a pious soul. As soon as father calls him, I'll be there, dad. How many children when mother call you, you go one time? How many children when daddy says, son, you come one time? And how many children when mommy call you or daddy call you, yeah, wait, I come in. 2 hours after, yeah, still come in. This is what is happening. When Gokarna was called, he will be there. But when, my friends, the actual son was called, he was never there. Why? Because he was not the real chip from the block, as we were to say. Love your children, my friends, and teach them Hold on to them. Don't let them get into the world and destroy themselves. The Brahmana, one day, he became so tired, he walked into the forest and he sat down by himself. And he said, you know what, I don't know how much more to teach. I don't know how much more to train or to enlighten my child. It is becoming too much. It's becoming too much of a burden to me. I don't know how to do it. I'm trying my best. Sometimes we try our best and we may think that we have flaws and something may be wrong with us. But you are an individual spark that God has sent into the world. And being an individual spark, it is said God has allowed you to be a personality, to be special in your unique way. Last night we spoke about not everybody can be everybody. You have come to be you. You can't be nobody else. And you will be unique for who you are. Sometimes you may think, well, you know, I'm not as good as everybody. Huh? I can't really do this like everybody do it. Or I can't put down something like everybody do it. And you think, well, you know what, I have a fault and not everything is right. But even your imperfections can be your perfection sometimes. Do you know that? Do you all know the story of the man who had the 2 pots? There was a man who had 2 pots on a stick. One pot is in front and one pot is on the back. At the back of him. And he put the 2 pots on the stick. And he will go down now. He will walk half an hour every day from his home to go down to the river. So he could gather water and he will bring back the water to his home and he will use the water to cook, to wash his dishes, to feed the animals, to do everything, to take bath. And then now, it is said years after, one of the pots was cracked. And even then, while the father or this man would walk up and down the hill for half an hour, every time he reaches up at the top of the hill, all the water from one of the pot run out. Because it dripped until it run out. But the other pot is full. And that pot felt to himself that I had imperfections because I had broken pieces. 1 year after, the pot realized that he was going up and down and he wasn't serving a purpose. So the pot said to his master, he says, Master, I want to tell you something. If you want, you could throw me away, you know. You could get another pot. Because I don't know if you noticed, but every time you go back and forth, I can't take water for you anymore. I have an imperfection. So I think best you get rid of me. And then the man said to the pot, he says, listen, don't you think that I know that you have an imperfection? But I used your imperfection to my perfection. He says, pot, I want you to see something. By the time I leave the bottom of the river and I reach up to my house, all your water run out. But on the path that I'm walking, did you see how much nice, beautiful flowers it have? He says, well, let me tell you, the day I realized that your water was not lasting to be up there, I saw the cracks on your pot. And when I realized you had imperfections, I took advantage of that and I threw some beautiful seeds on the path. So when I'm coming up now, you will be watering all these flowers. Now think about this. What you thought was an imperfection, I get flowers now to put on my altar every day because of you. Our imperfections can be a blessing in disguise sometimes. The things that we may think is wrong with us might be a blessing in disguise to other people sometimes. Don't think that you're a fault or you're a problem to anything in the world. Because people think that there are problems in today's society, many people are committing suicide, killing themselves and so on. Many people are committing suicide and destroying their life because they think I'm not good enough. Your imperfections can be a perfection to something else. Don't destroy your lives. Our lives are very precious. The Brahmana, he went into the forest and he said to himself, I have tried and even now I'm not good enough. So he goes and he sits on a rock. And he says, Bhagwan, I think it is time you should take me now. There's no benefit out of this. And when he says, Bhagwan, you should take me now, it is said the god of death found it suitable to come for him. And when the god of death was ready for him, that beautiful tune was heard in the world. Koi laak kare chaturai, कोई लाख करे चतुराई, कर्म का लेख मिटे नर भाई, कर्म का लेख मिटे नर भाई, जरा समझो इसकी सच्चाई रे, कर्म का लेख मिटे नर भाई, कर्म का लेख मिटे. You know what it says? Koi laakh kare chaturai. Thousands of people in the world, they are born every day. But thousands of people die also every day. What are you doing with the life that you have in this world? कोई लाख करे चतुराई करम का ले कमी ते नारे भाई करम का ले कमी ते नारे भाई जरा समझो इसकी सच्चाई रे करम का ले कमी ते नारे भाई करम का ले कमी ते Everybody let us clap, hello. Not because we sing in a song for when somebody die, I mean you're just sitting like this, like if you die. Come on. इस दुनिया में भाग्य के आगे चलना किसी का उपाय कागज हो तो सब कोई बचा कर्म ना बचा जाए एक दिन किसी मत किसके कारण बन को गए रघुराई रे ले कमी ते नरे भाई करम का ले कमी ते नरे भाई हरि गोविंदा While you're given an opportunity in the world to pray, pray. When you're given an opportunity to thank God for life, do it. When Navita and her entire family decided to do a Yajna, it was to say thank you, Lord, for the life that we have. When we come tonight, to everybody who came here, pray and say, Lord, thank you for giving us the wisdom, the energy and the strength that we are blessed with to be here. And one of the most beautiful things tonight in Yajna, in Satsang, we are celebrating our birthday also. There's no greater way to celebrate your birthday than to say thank you, Lord, for life and do it in prayer. That is a blessing by itself. Bolo. काहे मनवा धीरज को ताहे तो ना करो. It is said, my friends, while we live impatiently in the world, time is short. Appreciate it. काहे मनवा धीरज को ताहे तो ना करो. अपना सोचा कभी नहीं होता, भाग्य करे सो हो. चाहे तो राजा चाहे भिखारी तो कर सभी नया हकाई रे. करम का ले कमी ते नरे भाई करम का ले कमी ते नरे भाई करम का ले कमी ते नरे भाई. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. Shri Gajananda Swami ki jai. It is said the Brahmana lay down there and the only thing in his mind was, I pray my child would live a good life. And while he's thinking about it, gradually the soul is leaving this body. What do you think a mother wants from you sometime? What do you think a father wants from a child? To know that his children are living a good life. Parents want to know that their children live good. Before they close their eyes and before they say, I'm about to die, they want to know my child is doing good. My child is living good. My child is happy. My child is comfortable. That's all they really want. They don't want money and land and house and things. They want to know my child is living a good life and they feel contented to know I could close my eyes now, my child is happy. Be happy, my friends. Live happy and contented in the world. When the Brahmana's soul was about to leave, something changes everything. It is said the child realized that there's nobody to control him now. So he started to live a roguish life. He did all the bad things and bad traits in the world. And Gokarna, he sat down with his brother one day and he says, Bhaiya, let me tell you, what you do allows your parents to either be blessed or cursed. Children, how you live, you either send a blessing to your parents because of the good things you do, or you allow their karma to build, to be shrouded and cursed because of the lifestyle that you live. Gokarna sat down with him. And at this point, this child is now aimless without a direction in his life. And he says, Gokarna, Bhaiya, he says, I don't know how to live righteously in the world. Can you teach me? And that day, Gokarna sat down and he says, if you're willing to learn, I can teach you. There are many people come to Yajna. And when they come, like last time we were talking, people come for a different reason. If you're willing to learn, you will learn. But if you came for a different purpose, because I just want to see what's happening, you will not take up the knowledge. In my experience of 20 years of doing pravachan, katha, messages throughout the world, everywhere I travel, I've understood that if you are open-minded and free-minded, and God has blessed you with the intellect to understand the katha, you will understand it. And there are some people you could say the same thing 10 times and they will still ask you, what do you say again? I don't understand. Tell me again. Because the mind is not open-minded and free-minded to accept this knowledge. Be an open-minded person to understand. Be an open-minded person to accept. Be a person to accept and to receive what we call criticism, correction. Do you know anybody who could take a correction? No? That hard? Do you know anybody, if you walk up to them and say, hey, you see what you're doing there? I don't like that, you know. The minute you tell somebody, I don't like that, they vex with you. Look what he tell me. What he tell me that for? The minute you tell somebody, I don't like what you're doing, that's wrong. That whatever you're doing, it's wrong. You shouldn't do it like that. After that, people stop talking to you. People don't like you now because you correct. But there's what you call constructive criticism. When somebody tells you something, analyze it. Does it work? Is it really right? Am I really doing something wrong? And the power of acceptance is very great. Not many people can accept their wrongs. Not many people can accept when they do something wrong. Not many people can take an advice. Because when you give people advice, their head become more hard now. Because you tell me do it this way for spite, I'm not going to do it that way, I'll do it another way. There are stubborn people in the world too. Be free-minded, especially when it comes to the holy text. Especially when it comes to the holy books, be free-minded. Because it is the only way that you will get out of the world. In Ramcharitamanas, when Ravana, at that point, he was told by his brother. Ravana was told by Vibhishan. Ravana was told by Mandodari, his wife. Ravana was told not to kidnap Sita Devi, give back Sita Devi, or you'll be destroyed. Ravana says, hey, I'm strong, nobody can destroy me. Ego, I am powerful, nobody can destroy me. And Ravana thought to himself that nobody will be able to kill him. And at that point, it is said that Ravana decided that he will stand up against Bhagavan Sri Ram and will fight if he must fight. And on that day on the battlefield, when he stood there, he decided that he will fight the Lord of the universe. We feel that we can do our bad things and we can fight the world and we can fight God. But it is fighting the world that will destroy us one day. Our own deeds and karmas will bound us and will bind us to the negativities of the world. And today, my friends, even Ravana, when he stood next to Bhagavan Sri Ram, on his side, Bajrangabali, Lord Hanumanji stood there and he says, Prabhu, the world doesn't understand your strength and the world doesn't understand your power. And when Mahavir Swami looked at Prabhu Sri Ram, listen beautifully. Shri Ram Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Jai Rama, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Everybody go low. Everybody see the hands tonight. Go low. Hari. बिनती कौतुका बिनती कौतुका रखबर भाई रवन करता परारती सुनाए श्री राम जय रामा श्री राम जय रामा जय राम जय रामा श्री राम जय रामा जय जय रामा श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा राम जय राम जय जय राम everybody बोले श्री राम जय राम बोलो श्री राम I want you to turn to the person next to you and see if they're singing with you. Turn to that person next to you and see if they're singing. And if that person next to you not singing, I want you to take your elbow and hit them once so and say, hey, sing. You all ready? Take a look now and say, Shri Rama Jaya. Like some of you get the elbow away. Shri Rama Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Bolo, one more time. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. It is said, my friends, the day was about to come where the sun, along with Gokarna, Gokarna sits there and he sees now the sun out of all the bad karma. He sees his brother sitting there and he says, I think this is the time. I think it is the last moment of your life. If this is the last moment of your life, what have you done that if God comes, you could say, well, I'm ready to go. If Bhagwan comes tonight, are you ready to go? How many people are ready to go? If Lord Yamraj come, are you ready to go? How many people are not ready to go? To the rest of you, if you don't have a hand, put up your foot. If God had a walking, you're not ready to go? When the God of death calls your name, you have no choice. You don't have a choice in that. If God of death comes tonight and say, you and you and you and you, let's go. You can't say, well, give me 1 week again, I'll never eat ice cream. No, when your time is called, samprapti san nihite kale nahi nahi rakshat. Nobody could protect you when that time comes. When time is called, you have to go. That is how the world works. Whether you finish what you wanted to do or whether you didn't finish what you wanted to do, when time is called, that is why do what you have to do now. Nobody knows about tomorrow. Nobody knows about tonight. One day in Trinidad, members of my group and myself, we did a Yajna. And that night I said to everybody, hey, look at the person next to you and remember them well because you don't know if you will ever see them again. And that night when the Yajna was finished, a car with about 4 of them were driving up the road and they met with an accident. And that was it. And the people in the Yajna said, you know, he really was sitting next to me. You don't know the people in your life who will be here now and who will not be here now. You don't know if tomorrow comes, if the people next to you right now will be here or if they won't be here. That is the laws of karma in the world. So while you have people in your life, love them and cherish them. Embrace them. Be happy with them. Be content with them. Laugh with them. Smile with them. Enjoy your moments in the world. Gokarna says, my friend, brother, you will have to leave because I could see your energy becoming dumb. But don't worry, I will pray for you. And Gokarna sat there and he put his hands together and he prays. And how does he pray? Itna tu karna Swami Jab pran tan se nikale Govinda naam lekar Tab pran tan se nikale Tab pran tan se nikale Tab pran tan se nikale. And while he was chanting, the soul starts to leave the body of Gokarna, or his brother rather, and his soul is leaving. And while his soul is leaving, Gokarna prays and he says, Lord of the universe, Bhagavan Govinda, protect my brother wherever he may be. I will chant slokas and mantras in the name of my brother so that he will be blessed. You see, when you come to the Yajna like you're here tonight, just to be able to hear the mantras, just to be able to sit in the ambience of satsang and prayer and Yajna in front of the Murti, that is a blessing by itself. Whatever karmas you have in your life, by just coming here tonight and being a part, many are called and few are. Do you know how many people in the world message me? Today somebody from America messaged and said, Pandit, I wish I could be in the Yajna. People in Canada messaged and said, you know what, I wish I could be there in the ambience. People right in Guyana from all the way into Mary came last night. They messaged and said, no, we could be here. I wish we were here. People from all the way in quarantine messaged and said, Pandit, you know, I wish I could have been there, but I didn't have a ride. Many are called, few are chosen. You're lucky to be here tonight. While you're lucky, appreciate the message, the energy that God has given to you. Gokarna prayed. And when he prayed, and the soul of his brother was about to leave, at that point, it is said, he worshipped Bhagavan Govinda. And he says, Prabhu Gopal, please bless my brother. And because of the pureness and the genuineness of his love for God, Bhagavan says, because of you, because of your karma, because of your good deeds, your brother will benefit. When we pray, our loved ones benefit from the good deeds that we perform. If you live a good life, it sheds, it flows, it falls, and it scatters everywhere. Like a person who has a positive aura. Have you ever seen somebody walk in the mandir, and when you walk in and you see that person, you look at them and you say, where he come here for, why? Because their energy alone tell you, better you talk to he always vex. Or have you ever seen somebody walk in and when they walk in, everybody say, oh, thank God he come. That energy just lifts the place. The energy just lights up the entire place. What kind of personality are you? Are you a personality that when people see you, they want to run from you? Or are you a personality when people see you, they feel happy and say, wow, thank God you're here? Who are you? Understand. Live the life in the world. When the energy of Gokarna flowed, that day he put his hands together and he understood that by listening this message today and listening to the kathas of our Lord, we can not only be blessed, but our families, our loved ones, and our generations can be blessed. Prem se Sumapati Mahadeva ki jai, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. And with this, my friends, the soul of his brother traveled to the heavenly region and it reached that spot, that divine place of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, with all the wrongdoings that he did. Because of the love of our brother, he reached the abode that he was supposed to reach. Children, today when you're given an opportunity, pray to God. Worship the devatas. Thank them. Love your family. Love your brothers. Love your sisters. Appreciate the parents who work hard for you. Appreciate the people who sacrifice for you. Appreciate the people who stand hand in hand to make your life what it is, a better one. That is what living is all about. It is not just dressing up and coming to the Yajna. According to Hinduism and our culture, it is a way of life as to how we live, not how much you pray. With this, my friends, we end our message. And as we end, this is where now we like to invite each and everyone to stand as we're about to join in our beautiful final arti. आरती कुंज विहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की आरती कुंज विहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की आरती कुंज विहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की गले में वैजंती माला माला बजावे मुरली मधुर बाला बाला रवन में कुंदल जल काला काला नंद के आनंद आनंद कंद मोहन ब्रज चंद्र राधिका रमन बिहारी की गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की आरती कुंज विहारी की गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी गगन सम अंग कांति काली काली राधिका चमक रही आली आली रतन में कर दे बन माली माली ब्रह्म से अलग कस्तूरी तिलक चंद्र से झलक ललित छवि श्यामा प्यारी की गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की आरती कुंज विहारी की गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल जय राधा रमण हरि बोल जय राधा रमण हरि बोल जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल जय राधा रमण हरि बोल जय राधा रमण हरि बोल जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल जय राधा रमण हरि बोल नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम। गोविंद कन्हा गोपाला कन्हा यादवा कन्हा यंगर यादवा कन्हा। गोविंद कन्हा गोपाला कन्हा गोविंद कन्हा गोपाला कन्हा गोविंद कन्हा गोपाला कन्हा माधवा कन्हा यंगर यादवा कन्हा यंगर यादवा कन्हा। हरि गोविंदा। गोविंद कृष्ण गोपाल कृष्ण गोविंद कृष्ण गोपाल कृष्ण। गोविंद कृष्ण गोपाल कृष्ण गोविंद कृष्ण गोपाल कृष्ण माधवा कृष्ण यंगर यादवा कृष्ण यंगर यादवा कृष्ण। गोविंद कन्हा गोपाल कन्हा गोविंद कन्हा गोपाल कन्हा माधवा कन्हा यंगर यादवा कन्हा यंगर यादवा कन्हा। हरि गोविंद गोपाल 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 गोविंद गोपाल गोपाल गोपाल। गोविंद गोपाल 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 गोविंद गोपाल 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 माधवा गोपाल यंगर यादवा गोपाल यंगर यादवा गोपाल। गोविंद कन्हा गोपाल कन्हा गोविंद कन्हा गोपाल कन्हा माधवा कन्हा यंगर यादवा 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 कन्हा। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। Let us all take our seats, everyone.